All right, great. Thanks, Carla. All right, I'm calling this meeting to order at 7:04. Please rise as you are able to flex with it.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Do you have your something? It's probably not muted. Trying.
I think it's my opinion.
You're hearing,
It's muted, but it's not. I need to find out. Fine.
Just make sure your speakers are turned off.
Okay.
Mine aren't.
Yours aren't.
This meeting is called pursuant to the provision of the Open Public Meetings Law. This meeting, December 11th, 2023, was included in the list of meetings notice sent to the Hunterdon County Democrat and Courier News on January 5, 2023, posted on the bulletin board of Borough Hall on that date, and has been continuously posted as required. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Borough Clerk. Can I have a roll call, please, Carla?
Councilman Johnson, no.
Not yet. He said he was going to be on.
Councilman Parker,
I'm here.
Councilwoman Rosetti is out. Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Here.
Council Vice President Tilly, here. Council President Long,
Here.
and Mr. Carroll.
Here.
And we have four.
So we have I'm going to be subtle about this, a 10-minute or less presentation from Catherine Settle, who is the Executive Director of the Hunterdon Land Trust regarding the DeBoer Farm project. All yours, and we are mindful of the time.
I understand.
Thank you so much.
I will keep this to 10 minutes or less.
Thank you so much. Yeah, because you want some questions being asked too.
Okay,
If anybody, well, I want to leave some time if anybody has any questions, I should say that.
great.
Okay, go ahead.
If people want to interrupt me with questions, that's fine too.
Thank you.
So I realize that some of you may not know about Hunterdon Land Trust, so I just want to give a tiny bit of information before I start talking about the DeBoer project. So the Hunterdon Land Trust was founded in 1996 as an all-volunteer organization. We now have 4 full-time staff members and 3 part-time. We're a nonprofit organization, Land Trust, and our mission is to preserve farmland and open space in the Hunterdon County region, and also the cultural landscape of the DeBoer Farm public use. So we have helped preserve in our life, in the life of the organization, we've helped preserve over 11,600 acres. We work with other land trusts in the state, New Jersey Conservation Foundation, watersheds like American Headwaters Association. So we partner with all the area, all the statewide organizations. We have 8 reserves that we manage actively that have trails on them that are open to the public, and we have partial interest in 4 other reserves. You may be familiar with our farmers market, which started in 2007. So today we're going to talk about the DeBoer Farm, and it is one of our preserves. It's the only one with buildings on it. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. The DeBoer Farm was preserved in 1999, and I'm sure the people that started that are near and dear to your hearts. It used to be Citizens for Parkland, led by Beryl Doyle. Hunterdon Land Trust agreed to take title to the farm, and at the time they were still all volunteer. At the time they made a promise to the community to make the property a public resource. So it's taken a while, but here we are doing it. So I'm going to go through the project with you. I want to tell you what the project is, for one thing. So you probably know the DeBoer Farm at the Route 12 circle. If you look in the upper right-hand corner of this slide, you can see the project area is the large barn in the barn complex that has that arrow pointing at it. Can you see the arrow?
We have
It's not the barn with the writing on the roof.
No, but the way the screen is set up with pictures and everything. That one, Amy?
Yeah.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
the middle one.
That's where the project is.
Okay.
Yeah. And that is the largest barn on the property. It's late 1800s. So the project is meant to cover the rehabilitation of the two barns, that barn and the one that is attached to it, and also the site for public use. So it will provide the public with access to these historic structures. We expect to have a 250-person multi-purpose facility. When we're finished, it will have a warming kitchen, public bathrooms, a safer entrance to the site. Instead of right off the circle, it will be down towards Old Croton Road a bit, and I'll show you in a minute a map of that. There'll be site lighting and signage, improved parking, improved stormwater management, and reduction of gravel areas. So the benefits of the project are a large space that can provide educational programs and recreational opportunities. The site does have walking trails with direct access to Flemington Borough and today, and it is a gateway to connecting trails on the Meinberg Park and Bernadette Morales and the uplands. We expect it will boost the local economy by bringing people in for events. They'll be staying in our hotels and eating at our restaurants. And we feel like we serve as a gateway to Flemington Borough. We've always felt that way. It will also provide revenue to the Hunter Land Trust to help us maintain the buildings of the farm and to help us be able to have more diversified revenue stream to, to help pay for our land preservation and our stewardship and other programs. So the status of the project, the barn and the site plans are complete. The project is estimated to cost $7.7 million in total for the site and the buildings. So we are taking a three-phase approach. The design and the phase one construction costs have been raised, and phase one construction began on November 15th. We are now fundraising for phase two. So this is a plan that I suspect you all saw back when we did our master plan in 2009. And it is very similar to where we landed with the plan that we have now, which is, this is the engineering plan and the landscape plan for the site. So Amy, if you want to help orient them, show them where the farmhouse is.
Okay. Here.
And then the barn.
So
where
here's
the
Mine
project
Street
is.
in the circle, and here's the barn with the L, part of the L.
And then the new entrance.
And then instead of coming in here, maybe some of you have done one or the other, it's gonna be over here. So and a little more clear to enter and exit the site. Met with DOT.
These are just some elevations of how the barn is going to look. This is the western side of the bank barn, and this is where the bank is leading up to the entrance. You may have noticed that if you come in and out to the farmer's market, so it will, it will have doors. And then the north side of the barn is going to have, it's not an addition in the sense that it will increase the footprint of the building, but it is will be a new part with a lot of glass, and it will provide a lobby and also a limited use elevator and a stairway. So the building will be ADA compliant. The bathrooms will be accessible through this back entrance for people that come to the farmer's market or might be hiking and so forth. So I just want to explain the three phases, and the first one's green because we've already raised the money and we're already doing this. So out of phase one, we've gotten all the design and the engineering for the site plan. We will have an interim power supply. Some non-historic structures will be taken down. We will be removing the transite material that contains asbestos from the inside of the barns. They'll do structural repairs to make it strong enough to handle assembly use. New siding, insulation, windows, exterior doors, roof, and the framing of the addition that I mentioned. Phase 2 is the most expensive phase, and that's the one where we have to bring utilities to the site, upgrade the site. So we will, the water hookup is quite expensive. New Jersey American Water has quoted us around $400,000 just to bring water into the site. We have designed the septic system because we understand there's no sewer capacity anywhere, and we'll have to upgrade the electric service. We're going to be heating and cooling the building with heat pumps, so we will need better electric service. We'll be putting in sprinkler systems, mechanical and electrical work, the kitchen, the elevator, the bathrooms, etc., going in phase 2. Phase 3 is the site work. So the parking area, the new driveway, the sidewalks. We will be doing away with some of the gravel areas and planting grass instead. And that'll give it a nicer feel. And then improving the parking area.
I've got a couple questions. What's the elevator for?
The elevator is to allow people who maybe have accessibility issues, mobility issues, to get them to the, so the main floor is the ground floor, we call it the ground floor. The upper floor is the threshing floor, so get them up to the floor where the bank comes in, where the groundbreaking ceremony is.
I
That's
see.
the main floor.
Okay, I got it. I understand. And what's the time frames on each of these phases?
Well, phase 1 should be completed by April or May of next year. Phase 2 is going to be dependent on how quickly we can raise the money. We have some of it, but and we have prospects for a good bit of it, but not all of it. So it just depends on how quickly we can raise the rest of it. I hope there wouldn't be more than 6 months to a year between phases.
Okay.
So this is the funding that we've gotten to date. The New Jersey Historic Trust has given us 3 grants. Hunter Land Trust is investing in the project. We have raised individual donations of $580,000. Hunter County has given us now 4 grants, and Raritan Township just gave us a grant of $205,000. So I wanted to remind you, or maybe some of you don't know this, but Flemington's been a very loyal supporter of DeVore Farm and Hunter Land Trust through the years. You put $50,000 into the farm's preservation. And when we moved our offices into the farmhouse in 2010, the borough invested $25,000 to help us convert the farmhouse into office space, put in an alarm system and some other electrical work, other things we had to do to make it suitable for office. And then when we rehabilitated the Wagon House as a rustic classroom, you donate $11,000 to help with the roof. So this is a multi-year project, and it's the biggest project we've ever taken on. But we know that we're going to get more grant funding that's going to need matching funds next year, and we wanted to ask if borough would be willing to give a multi-year grant totaling $100,000 from their open space funds.
So we have not started the budget process yet. We have a lot of needs in our historic buildings. So we can certainly talk about it during the budget process, but that's half of what Raritan Township is. That's 5 times our population and almost 30 times our size. So it's a lot of money for us when we have only one functioning toilet in this building right now because our sewer has failed. For part of it, and Carla has a recording of wind blowing in her office through the windows. So, we'll take it up in the budget next year. Our CFO is online listening to the presentation. And, we appreciate you coming in.
Well, we appreciate you having us very much. If you need us to come back or provide any other information, just let us know.
Want to put you on the spot about, another subject?
Sure.
While you're here.
I thought you said we were gonna allow questions.
Sure, if you want a question?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Did you guys consider a commercial kitchen rather than just a warming kitchen? There's such a need for a commercial kitchen that people can come in and use. You can use that as a source of revenue to rent out a commercial kitchen. I mean, if this is supposed to be a building for the community, that would be a huge asset for the community. Is there any thoughts on commercial kitchen?
Yes, and it has been designed as a commercial kitchen at this point. I call it a warming kitchen because we might have to scale it back a little bit because of the expense. The hood of a commercial kitchen requires an additional expensive piece of equipment to replace air that gets sucked out of the building. So, but I will certainly take what you're saying into consideration as we look at that.
I mean, everybody's always asking,
It's true, it is
if they know
true.
of a commercial kitchen, they can
It is
rent or use,
so true.
It's
So,
good.
especially with the cottage.
maybe that's
Baker
maybe
industry.
it's pretty poor, but it's really, but Kim is completely right. We get that all the time in this town. The FCP or Flemington Community Partnership gets questions like that all the time. For people who want to cook for Etsy or whatever. I mean, everything has to be in a commercial kitchen. So, anybody down on the end of the table have questions? Malik came online about 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, he went and
He's on.
accepted,
So,
unless he's on now.
Tony, do you have any questions?
I don't at this point.
Okay. So we don't have any, that was a great question. So we don't have any, questions. I'm not gonna open this to the public, but. So I just wanted, you and I have had a conversation in the past, at least one, regarding Liberty Village. And you actually sent me a copy of the letter that your attorney wrote to our redeveloper saying you had no interest in having a partnership or conversation with him about using or taking or whatever, land at the 100 and
It was actually from our board.
from your
Yes.
board. I just want the council to hear it, because if, you and I have talked about it, but I want them to know if you are willing to share what you have told our redeveloper about, his phase 2 prospects or plans or.
Can I just ask the legality of this as it's not on the agenda? I mean,
It's
it's
public,
a
this is
presentation,
totally
it's just
public.
for-
And I don't know, it's public portion. I mean, if I was in the audience, I could ask this question.
But it's not public comment period, it's presentation.
Any problem with it?
I mean, you can always amend your agenda to add this item on if you'd like.
But why, but it's not, like, it's just a question they're here. I mean, if you tell me I can't ask the question, I want.
It's usually kept something somewhat informal, but you can add it if it's a problem. I don't feel strongly one way or another procedurally. You can add it. Or you could just, I mean, if Councilman Tony's making your point of order, I suppose she's technically correct.
I think if we want to, it's on the agenda during later, anyway, we could just get a report from our senator for that.
Well, I've already reported, I've reported privately to the council about what you said, but I just wanted them to hear it publicly. But that's okay. So.
Well, if there's another time that you want me to come to address this. that would be fine.
And you can also just amend your agenda question. I mean,
To put in what?
whatever, that's on Liberty Village.
I
I think
understand, they're here. I just figured I'd ask them to
that.
express what the board has said about Liberty Village. I mean, if the council wants
I
to
know,
know.
but
you can-
we had a special meeting on the whole Liberty Village.
But this isn't
project.
about this is about phase 2, which isn't even being designed.
Right, but
So-
I would think that would be a more appropriate time rather than a presentation of them asking us. for
That's
money.
fine. That's okay. You won't bother. Thank you.
All right.
I wonder if I could add
Sure, to the presentation.
Hi, I'm Amy Green, Raritan Township Open Space and Environmental Commission and the donors and supporter of Hunted and Land Trust. And, to explain so the funds that, Raritan Township use are the same ones we're asking for. The county municipal grant fund, which, the county makes available back to municipalities 10% of what they pay into the city's fund. And, I was the one who facilitated the request for the money and that's the amount we had asked for, and specifically for phase one. So we'll probably be going back to them for more money, just so you know, to put it in perspective.
I mean, I don't know what's in their trust fund, but you're asking for 2/3 of what's in ours.
Yeah.
And,
Thanks.
I mean, they spend their money on open space, we spend our money on historic preservation. So, we don't have any space to open, right? So, it's just like I said, proportionately, it's a really big ask. So, you know, I mean, like I said, I don't know what they've got, and they do spend their money routinely on purchasing space, so. But we'll talk about it during the budget process.
Yeah, we'd appreciate
Mark,
that.
yeah, we appreciate
You have a question now, but
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, I guess a question, sure. Lean into the question, so, I guess, you know, Hunted Land Trust is a good neighbor and we border you, so we appreciate the fact that you recognize that. And people don't know where that border is, but we all do, of course. That, you know, you consider yourselves a gateway, one of many gateways to the borough. So I actually appreciate you saying that, and recognizing that. And we do border you. So I think one of the things that when we do discuss, you know, our budget next year, yeah, it's a really hard pill to swallow that, especially because we do have, buildings in town that also qualify to use that funding. But I think one of the things that we could do as a good neighbor is if you, as the Hunted and Land Trust, can think of ways that we can help you as a good neighbor that maybe don't cost so much, but you know, I think that as a good neighbor, we should be able to reciprocate, you know, back and forth with things. So keep that in mind, whether it's for this phase or for future, you know, activities that the Land Trust does. Please keep that in mind because, you know, a good example is you'll have a 250 person space available
Right.
that we may, you know, would like to use at some point in time. So my point is, please send that message back that, you know, I do want to be a good neighbor and I do want to see if we can have some opportunities to create, you know, partnerships such as your property connects with pedestrian paths
Right.
to Minebrook. And one of our long-term master plan goals is to connect to Merrigan. So things like that, I'd really love it if we could, you know, maybe coordinate in the future, like I said, whether it's for this project or future, keep that in mind. And that might be an alternative thing you can ask, you know, for instead of the money or something like that, for this project.
Well,
I don't know how we can help, but
please call me if you have some ideas of things that we could partner on. That would
likewise,
be perfect.
likewise, thank you.
thank you so much for coming. Happy holidays.
Thank you.
Okay, I have a really brief report tonight. I just want to let the council and the public know that, the planning board attorney, Kara Kaczynski, and I have both been, working on contacting, the owner, or their attorney of the, Flemington Circle Wall. And, contact has been made. We were going to be talking about this in executive session, but publicly, I'm just letting everybody know that we have found out that they are under some serious financial difficulties. So we'll discuss it in executive session, and I know that the planning board is discussing it tomorrow night as well. Most likely in executive session as well. The other thing I just wanted to say is this is Kim and Malik's last meeting. It's my end of my first year with both of you. I wish you both well. You know, Tim, you're just an incredibly hard worker and, whoever's coming on, Adrian and Trent, they have large shoes to fill with you and, Luke, I just wish you well, you know, with everything that's going on in your personal life and I'm hoping that you can really focus on that now and not, you know, with the borough and our issues, get some resolve in your own life. So I want to just wish everybody in the public happy holidays and everybody should be safe and well. I hope Councilman Parker is having a good recovery from his surgery and that everybody has a great holiday season, whatever your holiday is, and that we all have some peace in this town and our personal lives and certainly in the world. And with that, Council President, you have a report?
Yeah, a few things. So, courts, a new violations clerk has been hired and she started today. The court administrator has informed me that, November's reconciliation will be ready for the first meeting in 2024. As far as, police news, I only have one thing. Tomorrow, the department will be having a retirement send-off for Jack Stadello. So that will be tomorrow, at the police department at 4 o'clock. I'll be there. I hope that
I'll be there.
the mayor will be there. All right, great.
Dogs and babies.
An illustrious career, right? And then Kim, it's been an honor serving Flemington Borough these past 4 years with you. From the first time we met, it was always clear to me that you were somebody who worked hard and could be relied upon. We seldom disagreed, but when we did, it was easy. Easy disagreements are really my favorite kinds. You've been an indispensable ally to myself and others. Most importantly, you have been a community first leader. I know you will continue being a presence in Flemington Borough, like I said, community first. And I am happy to know that. I am far happier, though, to be able to call you my friend. Thank you for your service to this town. Monday nights just won't be the same. Thanks, Kim. And you're welcome. And Mr. Malik Johnson, I wish you all the good luck, and I hope that you find peace and the other side of wherever you'll be. Thank you for your service. And that is my report.
Thank you, Council President. Council Vice President.
Yes. Unfortunately, I have one issue that was recently brought up to my attention, is that there's $170,788 request from a Clarence Larry Bowden Jr. that has been Bodine Jr. that has been in escrow since October 29th of 2014 to be used for summer music within the borough. And I am confirmed with Bill Hans that he said none of the money has been used. And I'm just wondering, what the process is to use some of that money for some summer music, or not summer music, but just some weekend music or music fest funding or some kind of funding.
Did anybody know this money?
Like I said, had I known any of the last 8 years I've been on council,
Right.
we probably wouldn't have had any luck by now, but 2014, this guy got it.
And I like that. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, the
So-
Bodines are old, illustrious Flemington family. So that's remarkable. I will talk to Bill about how we can, put this money to some good use going forward. And Bill, you're online. Is that escrow money in an interest-bearing account or non-interest?
Yes, it's an interest-bearing account.
In an interest-bearing account, so we can talk about how to stretch this money out and make it Mr. Bodine's legacy.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, great. I think it was his great grandfather. His grandfather was the first of 3 state senators from Flemington Borough. Clarence Bodine, the first, Walter Brand, and he. We were the only 3 senators from Flemington Borough. But his father went to high school with my father. So thank you. We'll talk about that. Kim, thank you for bringing that to everybody's attention.
Yeah, I mean,
How did you find out about it?
it was brought, somebody had forwarded me the email, and was like, where's this money? I'm like, what are you talking about?
Wow.
Yeah, there was a newspaper article.
And it was just for music.
That's what.
I mean, that's okay.
Yeah,
Whatever. It's just like it's amazing. It's an amazing amount of money.
yeah.
I
Exactly.
Billy, do you know what the original bequest was? How much it's grown over the last,
Well, this was the amount that was in the article,
in the article in 2014?
2014. Yep.
So now, years later, okay,
Who knows how much it is now?
thank you so much for letting us know. Is that it? Is that your only?
No, I just wanted to say to
Okay.
Marlene that it's been a pleasure, that this year was really the only year that I got to know you on council. And I wish you luck with your future endeavors. And just that it's been my utmost pleasure to serve the borough. Thanks to my family, my husband and my son, because it's as much their commitment as it was mine. So.
But you're not done yet.
No, I know. I have a friggin' meeting tomorrow going to delegate. I got HPC Wednesday night. I got fire again next
And then you're
Tuesday.
gonna start. and
So
go-
then, yeah, I'm still gonna be involved in the CERT
And with the fire department.
and yeah, and with fire.
Absolutely.
So,
You're a
and
very dedicated public servant. Really
there's a
appreciate it.
Samuel Fleming House meeting that I might go to on Thursday. So I might get roped into that next year. We'll see.
Okay, well, we're looking forward to having you around.
But, yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
No. Okay, Councilwoman Engelhardt.
Well, I'll start with Samuel's Plumbing House, since you guys ended with that. This Thursday from 7 to 9 p.m. there is a hot chocolate and history, or hot cider and history, whichever way you want to call it, event. We decided to do a little kind of holiday lights event from 7 to 9 p.m.
What,
on
that's this
Thursday
Thursday
night.
night?
This Thursday, 5 Benell Street. So we've got that going on this week. Tomorrow night is the planning board, as you mentioned. I do want to add to that, it's at 7 p.m. in this room. However, for anyone that was planning on attending for either the Chick-fil-A application or the Worksville application, both
No,
of
Burkett's. Always on, isn't it? I think it's Burkett's and the central station.
it says Chick-fil-A preliminary and site plan will,
That was helpful.
this application will be continued to the December 19th meeting. So, both the Chick-fil-A and the Worksville, applications are being continued to December 19th. So I just wanted to save anybody a trip that was interested in hearing those two applications for tomorrow night. There is an FRSB, Flemington Raritan School District, meeting tonight, simultaneous to our meeting at 7 p.m. So, feel free to watch them, see them afterwards, because our meetings are always more exciting. And finally, I know everybody's already said this, but Kim, yeah, I mean, one of the things that when people asked me why I was running for office last year, I specifically commented to people that I wanted to mirror you as an example of a council person and your dedication. So I know I'm sure I did not live up to that my first year, but I do intend to continue to strive to be that. I'm going to I hope that we'll still share some drinks at the Jazz Festival in the future, and I really did enjoy working with you this year. And I know that you're excited about dedicating your time and passion to volunteering, all over town. This isn't goodbye, just on Monday nights. I've known you since we both volunteered at PTO. Our both of our boys are the same age, and since 5th grade, and now they're like 20. So we have been around for a while with each other, and I don't see that changing. And I just thank you for all your years of service. It is not easy, and I thank your family too. I think that was really, really important, because I know they gave up a lot for you to be here all these years.
Well, thank you, Susan.
Okay,
Yeah, that's it.
Councilman Parker, if you're up for a report. You're on mute. Is he on mute himself, or?
Yeah.
John, you gotta take yourself off. mute.
Yeah, I know. My computer is doing all kinds of wacky stuff. The only thing that I have is that I can remember at this point. The newsletter has come out, and I'm going to work with Carla to get that up online. unfortunately, it came out just like the day before I was going into surgery, so I haven't had a chance to
Here in the,
review with
is
it.
it here in the building?
It is in the building. It is. Carl can show you where it is. Yep, it's in the building.
Distribute that. I'm happy to help you distribute that.
Yeah, well, anybody who can do it is fine. I'm literally off my feet for 3 weeks. So
Right.
that is, I mean, I'm just kind of locked up into what I can do at this point, limited in what I can do. But I just want to let you know, and then I will actually walk with Carla to get it up. Yeah, Carla to get it up on the borough's website. So we have a link, and I'll work with her. Carla, give me until the end of the week, and then I'll connect with you. And Kim, I'm glad I said what I had to say last meeting because I would never have remembered for this week. But you know how I feel, arms around you, holding you tight. And I wish everybody a happy holiday. That's it for me.
We hope you feel better. You look
I'm
unhappy.
getting there. This is a tough road.
I really-
I knew it was going to be bad. I just didn't know it was going to be this bad.
Yeah, well, we wish you well, Tony.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Yep.
So Councilman Johnston, you have a report? You disappear. He fell off?
Yeah. He
Okay.
just texted me that he's trying to get back in.
Oh, really? Well, we'll circle back to him then when he gets back in.
You could pop over to participants, you might be. That is.
No, that is participants. I can't
see
I
that.
can read that. I can't read anything else.
Yeah, there's another.
Marcia, if you open up the laptop.
No, it closed when she disconnected. That whole thing went down.
Yeah, I could see
When
attention.
she- like, when that went, when she went down, everything. I lost all.
Would you want me to see if I can log you on too?
Yeah, but when Catherine went on. I lost everything. So in the meantime, though, we're fiddling around with stuff and waiting for Councilman Johnson. We'll open it up to public comment session number 1. Anybody from the public who has a comment can come up, please speak into the microphone. I need your last name, spell it because our clerk is new, and an address. And then you have 3 minutes. Hello.
My name is Caroline Levy. I'm a resident in Bridgewater.
Okay, and is L-E-E?
L-I,
L-I-E?
L-I, 2 letters.
Okay.
As a registered nurse over 20 years of experience, I'm reached out to you, to the municipal leaders, to advocate for the passage of the Bill A4536 S304. This crucial registration aims to establish minimal staffing standards for registered nurse in the hospitals, ambulatory surgery facility, and certain DHS facilities. Currently, I'm among the 1,700 nurses on strike at Robert Wood Johnson University hospitals for more than 129 days now. Yeah, we have been advocating for patient safety, accountability from the hospital executives. Our strike, which began due to concern over unsafe working conditions. Currently, we do have a tentative agreement from the hospital, but we are pending for the voting from our union members. This situation underscores a broader public health crisis, the direful consequence of the hospital and the staff. Research constantly indicates that inadequate nursing staff level compromise the patient care and safety. This issue affects every resident who may require hospital care. For instance, just adding 1 patient to a nurse's average workload can increase about 7% of a patient's mortality. Patients are more than just a number of a balance sheet. They are individuals whose life are at risk due to this practice. Nurses often stretch too thin their emotional and professional burden of these losses without the time and the resource to process their own grief due to overwhelming workloads. This impacts of this crisis also impact the soaring turnover of the nursing, which reached an average 27.1% in 2021. Our goal is to establish safe and sustainable working conditions that enable us to provide high quality care for our communities. As I know, my colleagues already handed you their resolutions. So your support for these resolutions would be a significant step towards achieving safe patient care, reduce mortality rates, and overall improving their health outcomes. Your consideration for this matter is deeply appreciated. We are looking for a positive response. Thank you for the time.
Thank you for your service. I personally appreciate your service a lot. Thank you. Anybody else from the public?
I actually have a question. If I wanted to comment on, a resolution, would that be now or in the second?
No, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to influence a vote, it's now.
Okay, that's what I thought. Not really influence vote, just kind of.
Yeah, sometimes there's a thing where, unless it's on the. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Just
okay.
your name for the record, spell it, your last.
Nicole Thatcher, THATCHER. I live on 9 Elwood Avenue. I'm here to address the proposed contract change to allowing borough's employees to the chance to obtain outside employment off hours. I want to start this by saying 20 years ago in December of 2001, my parents moved out of our tiny house on Elwood Ave, and it was my dream to one day buy back the home I grew up in. Exactly a year ago today, my husband and I bought that house, and I'm now raising my children in the same home I once lived. Prior to buying a home in Flemington, as I knew it was always a place I wanted to live, at 20 years old, my boyfriend and I at the time, who's now my husband, moved out of my parents' house with our 1-year-old into a tiny apartment on Fulper Avenue. After that, we lived in another home for a few years within the borough. We love Flemington, and Flemington is our home. When we moved out of our parents' house, my husband went on a job interview for the Public Works Department and has remained a loyal employee to the borough from that day on. He still currently works on the DPW. My husband and I have hit many road bumps in our life. We have built. Becoming parents at 19 did not make things easier for us, but it also made us work harder. I'm concerned that passing this could in the future prevent us from living out the years we hoped and planned to live out here in Flemington. In today's economy, it is already hard enough to get by, and we have been very lucky to both have good, decent jobs that we like to support, that we like and that support us. I work for the county and he works for the borough. It has always been in the back of our minds that if we fall on hard times, my husband would pick up a second job, which he has done in the past. The way the economy is looking today, the chance of that happening is very high if things continue to get worse before they get better. My husband loves his job and he loves what he does, and he knows it supports us and our family. He loves working for the town, and he has dedicated a lot of his life for the town. I'm just concerned that, if this is passed, which I understand that sometimes when people have a second job, it impacts their current job. I understand the need for it, but I just believe having people who work for this town and also live in this town is a very valuable thing. It makes your employees work harder, it makes them build connections with residents, and it also allows you to secure employees who like working where they live. And when someone works where they live, they want it to be a nice place. So I feel it makes them work harder. This town is not cheap to live in, and we accept that because it's where we want to raise our children, and we will do what's necessary to make that happen, including obtaining a second job if needed. And I just ask you to please consider this if passed, and other boroughs' family stories when going forward with this change in the future. Thank you.
So this personnel manual change doesn't stop anybody from getting outside employment. It just requires them to tell the borough. So
yes, I just wasn't sure from what I had heard, it was just that you needed to, to be approved to get a second job, or you could be denied to get a second job.
Yeah, but unless it's, almost every municipality in the state has a similar personnel manual policy.
Yeah.
We have one now that starts out with the first line saying, you have outside employment, it can do no harm
to your current job.
Right.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. But most municipalities require an annual re-sign up, so because people don't always hold those jobs,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah.
you've got cops that are real estate agents,
No,
or
I
a
understand.
DPW worker who's working tarring.
I think the county, I
weekends.
think where I work for the county, it's within the first year, you can't obtain a job that also has.
This is really just to like annually to reaffirm where they're working, and
Okay.
so that we know. And I've been around municipal government for 30 years, and I've never seen a job denied.
Okay, well, I appreciate you clearing that up for me.
Right,
It's
and
just
our-
kind of like
Our labor attorney's been going through our personnel manual and looking for these weak points.
yes,
And so, people could have signed up. So when this was passed originally, years and years and years ago, everybody had to say what their outside employment was.
Yeah.
Probably most of those people don't have those jobs anymore. So
Yeah.
because we don't annually ask
Okay,
That's.
okay.
That's really what the
Thank
goal
you
is.
for
It's
clearing
not
that up. I
To
just,
hurt anybody
Yeah.
financially, it's just so that we know
okay,
where, where people are, but yeah, I mean, yes, technically we could deny it, but it would have to be a really extreme.
yeah, and
circumstance.
something, and like I said, I understand, you wanting your employees to be present at their jobs and another job not interfering, so I appreciate you clearing that up for me, thank you.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's
Yeah.
really to keep tabs on what might interfere with. the
Yeah, no,
job here.
absolutely, and if someone gets injured outside of the job, and I
Right.
understand that,
So
but thank
that's
you
what
for
the
clearing that up.
goal, but I think I think our labor attorney's goal was to like get it
Yes.
a little bit
Kind
more
of up to
tight,
date,
so
yeah.
that, up to date, so we know every year, that Trollman Emmanuel
Yeah.
is selling cars. and,
Yes.
station, So.
Yeah.
Know that.
All right.
You always get a cheap discount.
Yeah.
So,
All right, well, thank you for clearing that
I
up.
don't know, I'm just looking at you. looking at you.
Well, thank you for clearing that up, I appreciate it.
I appreciate your comments very much, so thank you. Anybody else from the public? Okay, seeing none. Did Councilman Johnson get back on?
Nope.
He asked me what the number was, so I told him just to, go on the website.
You got it? I don't understand. Well, hopefully he'll get back in. Whenever he gets in, we'll go back and circle back to him.
Yep.
Okay, we still have a quorum. As long as Councilman Parker hangs with us, we got a quorum. So, all right, so we have approval of minutes. Did they get? You're done, right? I think that's a while ago, okay. September 22nd, I'm sorry, September 26th, regular session. Can I have a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Tilly, a second.
Can I have, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just Tony, you know what? Just do a thumbs up. We can see a thumbs up with you rather than you struggling with anything. Executive section,
I'm good. I can do this. Something.
can I, get a motion to approve?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Tilly, a second.
All in favor or thumbs up? Councilman Park? Oh, he's on. Okay, thumbs up. Okay.
Aye.
Thank you. Our consent agenda, there are 5 items. Does anybody want anything pulled from consent? And seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Long move.
Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
Can I have a roll call, please, Carla?
Councilman Parker.
He's a thumbs up.
I forget to see. Councilwoman Rosetti. I'm sorry, Engelhardt. I was looking at your name. but-
Yes.
Council Vice President Tilly.
Yes.
And Council President Long.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We have 2 public hearings tonight. Ordinance 2023-30, an ordinance amending chapter 7 traffic, schedule 1, no parking, and schedule 15 parking permits by adding a resident parking permitted area during certain hours on the north side of Captain Street. This is actually not a public hearing. This is carried. The public hearing was closed at the last meeting. This is just for further discussion and vote. I did circulate to everybody, emails from both, Chief Rotella in support of this resolution or this ordinance, as well as from Mike Campion, our DPW superintendent, in support of this ordinance. Is there any other further discussion about it?
Yeah, I want to discuss something that Mr. Campion brought up. He said that he's having issues when he's plowing the street. That's because all the cars need to be off the street when he's plowing. So if the cars were parked there while he was plowing, I guarantee he'd have an issue. And I still think it's a safety issue. So,
Well, Chief Rotella put in writing that there hasn't been a single accident there in 17 years. All the accidents.
that's because the cars aren't parked there.
No, this is all day. There's been, he said there was how many accidents on the corner and on Park and Main and Park and Capner and Main and Capner, there are accidents, including 2 pedestrians, people going through the stop sign, but not one single car has been nicked or hit and reported to the police department. at
I
all.
know that's not true because the school bus hit a car there, so.
Well, I mean, we've got an email from the chief saying.
That's
he
great, we've
supports
got
it,
an
so-
email, and we can have an email from the Pope too, that doesn't mean that it makes it right.
Any other discussion? All right, well, we'll see what happens, so.
I'm sorry, I guess did Jeremy, I know that we got the email from, Chief Rotella, you as the police commissioner, have you heard any rumblings or anything from I guess as you're dealing with the police on a more day-to-day basis than we do, obviously.
Mhm.
Do you have any thoughts on it or opinions or any rumblings besides the chief? I just want to make sure that we're getting the, you know, the.
Yeah, I
full
mean,
picture
I,
here.
as commissioner, I kind of cede to the chief, the boss. So I haven't heard any, nobody's come to me directly.
Well, I've talked to at least 5 officers and they're all against it.
So the chief was rather perturbed that police officers are opining on public policy. When I talked to him and I told him across.
I'm
the phone-
allowed to ask whoever I want.
No, no,
about
no.
anything.
I know that, but you didn't ask the first time somebody said something to you. So that's the only one I know about was the first time, from 2 weeks ago. So it's up to the council, what you want to do. You know, Mike Campion feels strongly that this helps the residents over there because it's such a parking issue. She put in writing that he absolutely supports the stress ordinances in his email. Those words, so.
And what was the origin of this from the sort of infancy of this? Like where did
So
this?
I brought this up to all of you back before I met with the county about a bunch of issues about the fact that county parks there all day and then it's empty all night and on weekends, and about opening that up to the public. None of you said anything about it other than good idea. I spoke to the county said they would talk to the sheriff. And then at a second meeting with the county, and then talking to the sheriff said he had no problems with it. The county said they had no problems with it. I brought it back to the council. None of you said anything about it. Everybody said, good idea. Then we did it as an ordinance. We introduced the ordinance. Nobody said anything.
It's not true.
The public hearing, after the public hearing
Right,
closed, a
because-
discussion.
Because I asked if I could make it a comment when we introduced, you said,
Yes,
you
yes.
don't make comments now, you make it at the public hearing. So that's why I
So-
made it at the public hearing.
So that's the origin. That's the whole origin. Mike Campion thought it was a good idea when I brought it up. He went out and measured.
So wait a
Yes,
second, Marcia,
supported it.
didn't you say you spoke to a resident about this?
We had no, I can speak to a resident about it. We had a resident write about parking issues. That they were having a lot of problems over there with parking, with people from Park Avenue parking there. That they were having problems. That's when they asked for the handicap spot to be removed.
Right,
That's what the impetus.
right.
That was the impetus.
And so there was that, but we solved the problem with the handicap, space with that one resident. And I'm all for providing as much parking as, street parking as possible, for sure. I just want to make sure that there's, you know, if it's more than one resident that's concerned about it, I think that's where my confusion is, you know, did we solve the person's problem? Or the couple people's problem with the handicap spot, is there additional people still concerned about the ability to have on-street parking there? Or is this kind of like one step further?
There's always a problem over there parking because people from Park Avenue park on Cap as well. So, you know, Mike Campion, when I spoke with him on the phone and called him about this and, asked him if he measured, you know, he was opining. I wish he was on tonight because he was opining about what a problem it is over there to park.
And it's my concern is it is tight.
So
Like, you know,
Spring Street.
Spring yeah.
Street's tight too.
I don't know if it's as tight as Kapner, but I would have to look at a map or get some measurements. Is it possible if we've got no other residents concerned about this, can we table this one more week?
No, this is the last meeting of the year. We'd have to reintroduce a new ordinance next year, which we can do. Like,
Would that be the end of the world?
No,
Like, is there anybody?
there is no end of the world in government. It goes on.
I'm gonna
It
suggest
goes
that
on.
instead of them parking on Kapner, because I can speak now because this is the last meeting I'm gonna be at, that maybe you look at the parking lot that's off the street where there's like 8 or 9 spots.
Behind the Justice Complex.
No, not behind the
Because I
Justice
asked about
Complex,
that.
behind the post office.
Yeah.
There's a strip of parking
Yeah.
there. At least it's off
Is that
Kapner.
the one that the prosecutor?
Yeah, but the prosecutors aren't there at night, are they?
I don't know. Because I did ask about the parking spaces behind the Justice Complex itself. That's got a little parking lot there.
That's all handicap.
That was also nixed.
Yeah.
by the sheriff, so.
There's parking
You're
behind
talking,
the
you're talking
post office.
about that, we own the parking,
Behind the post office?
we own that parking lot, municipal parking.
No,
It's
we're
our
not.
property. We let the prosecutor's office. You didn't know that? See, never just go dine, $170,000 VA parking spaces.
I don't give a shit what you give me. I'm taking nothing.
So.
Get the hell out of here.
I can talk to the county about those and just make sure they're all out. I don't know if they're out at night. I really don't. When I go home tonight, I'll look.
If they need parking, you're not gonna have 8 of them, you have 2 of them, let them park in the cutout. Let their cars get signed.
So if we table this, can we get absolute certainty that
Well, I think-
somehow this is resolved as far as whether we're getting,
I thought when the chief of
Access.
police says there's no
Yeah.
accidents here at all in 17 years, that was definitive, but that's okay. You want to reintroduce it next year? We'll reintroduce it
I
next
think
year and
we have,
continue the
we
conversation.
can't table it though, we have to.
Cannot
reject
table
it
tonight.
And
No,
then
it has to,
reintroduce.
tonight, everything dies tonight.
Well, that's right. If you do it, you should just bring in the chief and or.
I agree with you. I totally agree.
and yes,
Yeah,
And then we'll ask, and I'll also investigate those. I'm gonna drive home tonight. I'll go by the parking lot, and see what's in there. See what's in there. So.
yeah, I just think after all these years, I respect him enough to give this one more shot, or one more look, see.
Sure, Susan, that's because I'm not gonna be here.
You can
All
come.
right, so we're gonna
I won't be, trust me.
So we're gonna let this ordinance die tonight, and we'll look to reintroduce it, Carla, at maybe the second meeting in January, the end of January, because I don't know what we're in store for the first meeting in January. All right, oh, yeah,
And I'm gonna recommend that the
the budget for FCP is coming in, I don't want a lot of competition that night,
No.
right?
me neither.
Okay,
I'm gonna recommend that the police commissioner, whoever it is, reach out to some of the senior officers and get their personal opinion on it.
boy, oh boy, that is, the police, that's a violation of chain of command over there, I don't know about that, Kim, honestly, and Jeremy can opine on that one. But asking officers below the chief, their opinions on something that the chief supports is a violation of their chain of command.
You gotta rely on the chief there. I agree with you, Mike.
Oof,
Okay.
So, all right, so that is, we are letting that die for 2023 to be reintroduced possibly in 2024. And then we have ordinance 2023-34. This is a public hearing, bond ordinance providing for Main Street sewer replacement project, appropriating $1.4 million, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of $1.4 million bonds and notes to finance a portion of the cost thereof, authorized in and by the Borough of Flemington in the County of Hunterdon, New Jersey. In short, this is to pay for sewer lines from the Circle to Church Street. Can I have a motion to open to the public?
long move.
Is there a second?
Tilly will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This ordinance 2023 is now open, 2023, sorry, 34 is now open to the public. Anybody has any comments can come to the microphone. Or anybody online can raise their hand. We can barely see. Anybody?
It's
on-
right here.
Oh, gosh. Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to close the public hearing for ordinance 2023-34?
Long move.
Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, can I have a motion to introduce ordinance 2023-30? I'm sorry, thank you, adopt ordinance 2023-34.
Long move.
Is there a second?
Tilly will second.
Any discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Councilman Parker,
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Councilman Parker.
Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Yes,
Council Vice President Tilly.
Yep.
Council President Long,
Yes.
and I think Malik's on here now.
I don't see him.
Where-
He popped up and raised his hand, yeah, but now it's gone.
Okay, motion carried.
Thank you. All right, under regular agenda, resolution 2023-205, resolution amending the personnel manual. As I said earlier, this allows for the borough to annually receive from all employees their request for outside employment as recommended by Frank Weasley. Our attorney was supposed to be on the call tonight, but didn't call in either. Perhaps he forgot. Can I have a motion to approve resolution 2023-205, effective January 1st?
Can I just ask a quick question? This is all he found going through the.
Oh, no. There was supposed to be another one
Oh, okay.
coming in tonight as well, and he didn't
Okay.
get it done in time, and No, he's working his way
So
through,
he's doing it, you're gonna do a piecemeal.
pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, he's doing it piecemeal, so as he's going through it, you know. So, can I have a motion to approve? Resolution 2023-205,
When can we talk about this? After this?
after it's open for discussion, after it's motion and second.
So you're motioning to introduce, not to approve?
No, no, it's a resolution, you're making a motion, second, then we can discuss, and then you can vote it down, or we can
Well,
wait
then why
until
don't you
spring.
just let me ask the question now?
I think we
Before.
should comment
Before.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we discussion.
before you adopt it.
Well, yeah, definitely,
Make a
do,
motion and second, we should go off discussion.
I always do, right, except once in a blue moon, I forget, but yeah, there really should be a motion in a sec to even discuss it, so. Again, if you're uncomfortable without Frank being on the phone, which really annoys me, because he told me he was calling in to explain this to everybody. So,
I just had a couple questions and I don't know.
If he's out here, can we move to table?
oh yeah, this could definitely be tabled to the first meeting of January, and we'll make sure he's here.
I feel more
That's
comfortable
fine,
doing
that's
that.
fine.
I need a motion.
No, no,
Um,
no
I don't
motion,
know motion second yet. We called for motion in a second. It's fine. You can just move on.
yeah, we can just move on, so it's just, right. Yeah, because he was supposed to be on to explain it and answer any questions, so it'll just wait until he's available or whatever. We have no work session. There is a public comment session number 2. We still have Mr. Chuck. Okay, public comment number 2. Again, this is a second bite of the apple. Anybody from the public? Anybody in the audience and the public here? Okay, seeing none. Payment of bills, authorizing payment of bills in the amount of $364,767.01. Can I have a motion, please?
I'll move.
Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Parker,
Yes,
Councilwoman Engelhardt,
Yes,
Council Vice President Tilly.
Do I have to abstain because there's a check in there for me?
No.
You could just abstain from that check.
Yeah, she should,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'll-
just say, yeah, whatever the number is.
Yeah, I don't know what the number is.
It's only for $100.
Yeah, Carl can find it. Just
Yeah.
no gives to
Okay.
Carl.
Yeah.
So you're a yes otherwise?
I'm a yes otherwise.
Okay. Is that everybody? Carla?
Oh, yes, that's
Thank
it.
you. I lost track.
Sorry.
Thank you. Okay, we do have an executive session, regarding potential litigation on the circuit wall and contract negotiation under Liberty Village. I note that, Councilwoman-elect Adrian Pissarro is online. You are invited in to stay in this executive session, and we can make you a member if you so wish to stay. Otherwise, everybody have a happy holiday.
Well, we
Okay.
need a motion to.
Oh, I
go
do need a
into
motion. I need a motion to go into executive.
I'll remove.
Is there a second?
Engelhardt will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
and we'll ask everybody else to get offline, and thank you. It is your last meeting, you kept glitching in and out, you're here now. You didn't get a chance to do a report, so on the record, if you have a report to make, we'll put it into the record. We
Yes,
hear-
ma'am. Thank you.
Can you speak up louder?
I have a few things. Okay. Can you hear me?
Not well,
No,
Can you hear me?
no, barely. Are you close to your microphone? Can you raise the volume? Because everybody is quiet, even talking is quiet.
Do you know how to
Let me
raise?
see.
it's on the.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better, wait,
No, the
hang on a second.
remote for the television, Carla, it's on the side. So there we go.
That's it.
Oh,
Hang
of
on
the
one second.
television?
Yeah, right there on the,
Next to the left.
Remote control,
Oh.
right there. Yep, you're close.
no, the control, not the,
Wait.
not the laptop, the remote control.
Oh, this.
Yeah.
Oh, you
It's
know
on the
what?
side of it.
We have music on today, that's why. That's why. Okay, talk.
Malik,
You're gonna have to go up to like 50.
Malik? Are you still there? Hey Malik, can you talk? Malik, we can't hear you, we can't see you, but you're still on.
I don't think he's I actually don't think he's talking. I see his name up there, but he's not talking. Because I could hear him.
I agree. But we can hear Tony better now.
Absolutely. Malik, can you say, Malik, we can't hear you.
I think that ship is sailed, Mayor.
Son of a gun, he must be cursing like a blue streak.
I doubt.
I think it's the part of the course of this year. It's very appropriate.
Well,
Mayor,
no
I
one-
think you're looking for a motion here, Mayor.
Okay, motion to adjourn.
Tilly will move.
I'll just second.
All in favor? That was so sad.